This town has 2 police stations. The police here face several allegations, amongst other things, refusing to open up rape cases, insulting and shaming rape victims, and suggesting that parties talk first and resolve things instead of opening up rape charges. 18-year-old Melanie, not her real name, is a young advocate in the fight against child rape and sexual assault. She says she was 15 years old when she was raped by her stepfather. Melanie says the initial process to open a case was slow. This is her story.
Die dag van toe ek verkragt was, het was op 'n Sondag namiddag voor ek my volgende eksamen moes geskryf het. En daai dag het ek toe het nog gebeur het net 'n uur.
The day I was raped, it was a Sunday, just before midday, a day before I was to write my next exam. An hour after it happened, I ran away from my home to my grandmother's house to get help. My parents came and we went to the police station. We waited for 4 hours at the Plettenberg Bay police station to register the case. They then sent me to Kwanoktura police station where we waited an additional 2 hours. It was midnight when I went home. They told us we must wait for the FCS unit to come, but they did not come. So we went home and were told that the FCS would contact us. They never did. I wasn't even taken to the hospital.
Te kom ons het gewag, hulle het nie uitgekom nie. Ons het huis toe gegaan en daar was gesê hulle gaan ons kontak. Hulle het nooit kontak gemaak nie. Ek was nooit hospitaal toe nie.
Melanie says her stepfather was eventually found guilty, but now he's a free man after receiving a sentence of 18 months correctional supervision. Her mother is angry at both the police and the justice system.
Ek sit met 'n kind wat depressie het.
I'm sitting with a child that has depression. Every day I have to ask God to help her and give her strength. But I'm tired of the lies. I want to say to Becky Kelly, Minister of Police, do us a favor and resign. You means nothing to us. You means nothing to our victims and nothing to our people. How many children must still get hurt? How many children must still get broken? And you are doing absolutely nothing.
Is daar buitekant en julle doen absoluut niks nie.
This child was 12 years old when he was allegedly raped while on his way home from school in 2019. In spite of the suspect being identified by the victim and witnesses, the case is yet to be put on the court roll.
They said the case is starting on February this year. But now it's December. I don't know what is going on with the case. And then I want some people to help me. Even your president, to try to help me so that the case will go on, because I don't even understand that the guy that is a rapist still around in Plettenberg Bay.
Parents of the victims are frustrated and want answers. This 12-year-old was groomed on social media and allegedly abducted and raped.
Hoe is dit moontlik dat hy R500 bail kry? En hy het daar vorige sake van om minderjarige kinders te verkrag. Hoe is dit moontlik dat hy nog vry buite rondloop? Doet ons maar nou vir Helen.
How is it possible that he gets bail of R500 and is already has another case of sexual assault and the rape of minors against him? How is it possible that he's still walking around free outside? We contacted Helen from the Green Arts because we didn't know what to do. 2 policemen came here and another 2 and then another one, and he said to us that we don't have a case. And then the Green Arts came and went out of their way to help us make sure that this case was addressed.
The Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit is based in George, some 90 kilometers away. Some victims have lashed out at them for allegedly failing to follow up on cases and vital information and making victims wait for days before coming to see them. This woman says she was drugged and gang raped on the 24th of December 2018. She was unaware of her rape until a friend informed her of a video being circulated in the community. She says police investigations into the incident only started a week later.
Die FCS het my toe kom optel. Ons was by die jaar waar die voorval gebeur het. En
the FCS came to fetch me and took me to the house where I was raped. They spoke to a witness and asked her if she knew anything. She swore at me and said she doesn't know anything. Then the FCS said we must just leave it. And every day I'm walking past the person that did this to me and I don't know what they're saying about me. So I've just left it.
Kyk hulle my aan en wat hulle van my sê nie. Maar ek los dit totdat dit so ver.
The NPO, the Green Hearts, is the loud voice against child abuse in the Garden Route, providing assistance and support to victims and their families. They say they're frustrated at the constant challenges.
In 2015, we were promised a FCS unit in Knysna. The only FCS unit is in George. They serve from Sedgefield to Covey.
Covey, yeah.
With presently 5 investigative officers.
And it's George ook wel.
Yeah. George from Georgia. Yeah. We were promised the FCS unit. We've got all the minutes of the different meetings. And in 2017, the colonel that was in charge of 2016 of FCS, he just said there was never a meeting like that. It never took place. No promises were made.
Police management in the region says it notes what it calls unsubstantiated allegations made against its officials. SABC management says gender-based violence is a priority and investigations of a sexual nature are assigned to specialized detectives. They say they have sufficient resources available at local police stations to handle victims of sexual offences on a 24-hour basis. Officers are also trained to deal with victims of such crimes. But the Green Hearts says sexual offence cases are not being prioritised.
It has taken up to 6 hours to get an FCS officer from George to Plettenberg Bay. You can't have that with children. We are failing our children. Our police force, our NPA and our justice system is failing our children abysmally.
The wheels of justice may allegedly be slow in some cases, but they do turn. George dentist Ian Fenter was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment for sexual assault in 2018. He'd been previously sentenced to house arrest in 2014 on a charge of sexual assault on a friend's son. 37 life sentences have also been handed down to a George businessman and father who drugged and raped his daughter's friends during sleepovers. Segwi Chetty, SABC News, George in the Western Cape.